We are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just to kind of reflect on what we talked about. First and foremost, hope you guys had an amazing Father's Day weekend. Hope all you fathers out there had a good time, barbecue, drink some beer, relax, hang out with the kids, the wife, et cetera, et cetera. And, happy Father's Day all around. Once again, the Boston Celtics are the WWE champions. See what this podcast has me doing? Definitely. Like if I ever make it in ESPN, if I ever go up to the podium and be like, I would like to congratulate Boston Celtics on winning the WWE NBA. Just kidding. No, definitely. Congratulations to all you Boston fans out there. And segment one, we talked about our WWE SmackDown review. Now we're going to get into our WWE Clash at the Castle review as well. So before we get started with that, I want to remind you guys to use the tips and donations link at the GSMC podcast.net. We get a number of questions that come in from viewers like you. So remember, you can put your question on top of the list by using this link right here. This pretty little link. Tell me how you feel about wrestling. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Give me potential storylines. Tell me what you want to see on Monday Night Raw. Tell me what you would like. What you would have liked to see at WWE Clash at the Castle. Obviously, very, very something about wrestling that NBA fans and Major League Baseball fans and NFL fans. And, don't get me wrong, the spirit of competition, but just it's so subjective. It's like sometimes you can you can look up stats. You can look up stats on what happened at PLEs and pay-per-views and stuff like that. But if you don't actually watch it yourself, you can't really understand what it really is, if that makes sense. I don't know if if I'm losing you guys right here, but like if you're watching wrestling, like if you can like read on ESPN and be like, oh, Cody Rhodes defeated AJ Styles. Okay, like that was very broad, but there's more than that. There's the style of wrestling. There's the way he panders to the crowd. There's the way he holds himself within a match. A guy could hold himself good in a match, and then like he can show absolute like downtrodden discouragement where he doubts himself, and he'd be like, dude, that's a whole story right there. That's just crazy how wrestling is. So, guys, once again, I want to remind you guys to use that GSMC tips and donations link so we can talk some good stuff. We can talk some good stuff. Well, guys, we're going to talk about our WWE Clash of the Castle review. So, first and foremost, let's go ahead and dig on into. Oh, hold on, let me find the right page here. Apologies, sorry. No, I should have this on I got this on my notes. First, we're going to talk about Bayley. Bayley defeating Piper Niven for the WWE Championship. Kind of knew this was going to happen. Kind of knew that, I feel like this was kind of like not like a squash match or whatever, but Bayley ultimately needs a little more credibility, kind of like what I was talking about before. With her kind of being that boring champion, Piper Niven was I don't want to say set up to fail because that sounds, kind of mean, but she was in her hometown. She went out there. Obviously, win or lose, you knew for her that this was going to be a major, major, major match for her to kind of remember for her whole entire career. I bet family, friends were there. That's cool. That's cool. She put on one hell of a match against Bayley, came damn near close, but Bayley did what she did to kind of win. When I say kind of win, because you had to know that Bayley was going to win. You had to know Bayley was going to win. Piper Niven was, I'm not saying she was less deserving of this championship opportunity, but once WWE, they like to pander to the crowd, like when you saw Mansoor win the greatest Royal Rumble ever, or kind of like where you saw Jinder Mahal like facing, like it's just. And it's smart. It's just business. It's just business. And Piper Niven wasn't more or less granted a shot at a championship. She was more or less granted a shot that, hey, like, you could do a lot in this company. So don't ever discourage yourself. Don't ever feel like WWE doesn't care. Don't ever feel like you can't be a WWE Women's Champion one day. So that's why I feel like 1,010% this match was a huge win for Piper Niven. I want to see her and Chelsea Green kind of move forward with the whole tag team titles and kind of just stuff like that. So yeah. So next we see Sami Zayn fighting against Chad Gable. Chad Gable, once again, his anger, and I feel like I love this. I love Sami Zayn. I love Chad Gable. I love the way that they're kind of, the way they're kind of constantly fighting at each other reminds me of like kind of like an Edge and Mick Foley bout for the Intercontinental Championship. But and I say Mick Foley because I don't know why Sami Zayn reminds me of Mick Foley so much. But I know it's to the point too much for something needs to happen between, you know, Alpha Academy and Chad Gable because the same stuff keeps happening over and over again. Chad Gable has lost. Chad Gable has lost 3 times in a row. He's lost in 2 head-to-head battles, and he's lost in a triple threat match with Bronson Reed and Sami Zayn at King of the Ring. So there needs to be something. There needs to be something different for Chad Gable. Recently, he signed a contract with WWE, so he is not going anywhere. I kind of think this is the perfect time to kind of have Otis and Gable go at it. Probably has something heading toward Money in the Bank. Probably having Chad Gable disowning the Alpha Academy. Kind of building up his new Alpha Academy. I know, you've seen the Creed brothers on the Raw roster. They were, drafted by WWE, Monday Night Raw, and they haven't really done anything with them. So, like, WWE Creative, if you can find a way to, have the Creed brothers, I feel like if they turn heel, that would be, kind of like where you saw Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas at the greatest tag team with Kurt Angle. I feel like once these 3 guys are together, there's no doubt in my mind that they're going to make a huge impact within WWE. Chad Gable, I feel like should be if this happened where he created a new Alpha Academy with the Creed brothers, and if he won Money in the Bank, I feel like that'd be awesome for WWE. I feel like that'd be great. Chad Gable's a huge, he's a very complex competitor. He has, a built-in crowd around him. Obviously, if you're an Olympic wrestler, they automatically respect you. He, kind of reminds you like Kurt Angle kind of thing. So I feel like the best person to hold the Money in the Bank would, obviously I kind of have, thoughts on Drew McIntyre, but Chad Gable he's also up there as well. Because if Chad Gable, I feel like if he doesn't have a good storyline, I'm talking after the whole Otis thing, after him and Otis go at it, probably at SummerSlam or Money in the Bank, I just feel I don't want his character to die. Like not like that, but if you're with me as the wrestling crowd, I just don't want I just don't want his character. Because I feel like they've done such a good job with Chad Gable. Obviously, you had the Shorty G thing going on that didn't really work out. If Shorty G was still in WWE, he probably would be out of a job. So. That was, but that's just my opinion. All right, next we have Damian Priest. Damian Priest against Drew McIntyre for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Kind of, not spending too much on this. There's a couple of things that I kind of thought this was going to happen. CM Punk was going to get involved. Duh. Damian Priest can't win a championship match clearly because I feel like WWE thinks that the WWE universe don't really trust him as a champion. Duh. We've kind of thought of that before. And it's not that it's Damian Priest. It's not that it's Damian Priest. It's just I feel like, wrong time. Him winning the Money in the Bank championship was great. He can't win a match without any interference, especially against Drew McIntyre. If Damian Priest defeated Drew McIntyre cleanly during this match, I felt like that would have did more good as compared to CM Punk interfering within the match. I don't know if that makes sense. I feel like WWE would be better off having Damian Priest establish that credibility against Drew McIntyre. But Drew McIntyre, he got the bailout. And then when I say bailout, it was like, oh, he was supposed to win, in his home country, yeah. But then you had CM Punk, go behind the scenes and do all that. And then he went on a huge rampage. Obviously, what you're probably going to see on WWE Monday Night Raw. But I don't know. It's just, I don't if I really hope that they find a way to kind of help Damian Priest establish some sort of like I don't want to say persona. I don't want to say persona. God, it's so hard. It's so hard because when you see Damian Priest go out there, you can see he cares. He cares about the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. He wants to be better. He wants to be more than some bridge champion. I can honestly say, as a WWE fan, but that doesn't sound right as well. Oh God, I'm just all over the place, guys. I apologize. Um, if Damian Priest loses the championship before Cody Rhodes, I could see Damian Priest's character kind of falter to maybe an intercontinental champion kind of thing. And I don't mean, like I said, I'm not trying to say that to be like a, like a Richard or whatever. But I feel like Damian, he hasn't been established from WWE as a like a suitable or like a legitimate champion because it's just so many interferences and stuff like that. Like it's crazy. Absolutely 1,010% crazy. Moving on, we kind of need to speed this up, guys. So we're gonna move on into our WWE World Women's Tag Team Championship. Not spending too much on it. Isla Dawn and I'm afraid defeated Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark, and Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. This was honestly, I liked it. I liked it. There had to be a championship change. Usually with PLEs that happen in the things overseas. Obviously WWE for the fourth straight PLE. It's been overseas. It's kind of been in another country. So love that Dawn and Fryer were able to kind of do this. I feel like it's kind of better for them to have the world women's tag team titles. I was waiting for Bianca Belair and Jade to drop the titles. Although I feel like WWE kind of did us dirty because I feel like, once when you were falling in love with the wrestling style of this World Women's Tag Team Championship, Bianca and Jade, kind of like how I was. The moment I found out these guys were, they won the championship, I was like, okay, great. Here comes a whole bunch of squash matches. Here comes show the world. Bianca and Jade, you guys are the two most powerful women in the world wrestling women's industry and stuff like that. I thought that her matches were going to be squash matches, but they put on really good matches. They were able to kind of show that Chelsea Green has skills, show that Indy Hartwell is able to kind of, and Candice LeRae. They did really, really well with those WWE Women's World Tag Team titles. Now you kind of have them separate. Like what I was talking about before, I feel like when WWE kind of put the strap on them, obviously they don't do anything like in terms of like turmoil and stuff like that. But these are two of the top superstars in women's wrestling for SmackDown. Two of the biggest draft picks they have ever made. And putting them as a team instead of the singles category, we as a WWE universe, I want to see these girls go at each other. I thought they were going to find a way to kind of drive a wedge between them to, kind of dispute and kind of turn each other's back on each other, like on SummerSlam. I was picking Bianca to kind of go, you know, kind of, heel, but that was my opinion or whatever. And lastly, before you move on, Cody Rhodes defeats AJ Styles. We kind of knew this was going to end, kind of be the way it was going to end up. Cody Rhodes did show more of a vicious side of him, which was, I feel like it's better for the American Nightmare to kind of do that because everybody knows that he's white collar. He comes every single time outside with a suit. Hey, what do you guys want to talk about? Like, then, that's Cody Rhodes. That's something that we all respect him as. And he does pretty darn good with it. 1,010%. He does really, really well. So, then he was able to, Styles countered the not Styles Clash. He was able to, the phenomenal forearm, and he was able to kind of get him to quit. So I thought that was pretty cool. But then after the match, you had, the Bloodline, the show line. Obviously, you have Kevin Owens and Randy Orton who supported Cody Rhodes, especially after WrestleMania 40, him finishing his story. Obviously, kind of building more toward a kind of a storyline in terms of that. Guys, do not go anywhere. We're gonna jump right on into our Monday Night Raw preview. So hey, do not go anywhere.